5 years ago, I was thinking, wouldn't it be the perfect world where we just have this one cable to rule them all? Like this one cable for power and USB or DisplayPort or Ethernet. And we just have this one cable that handles all the standards, all the power, all the data transfers whatsoever. And now 3 years ago, the game changer came. It was called USB Type-C. And it's now nearly industry standard out there. Nearly every new device comes with USB Type-C, hopefully. But I must be honest, after nearly 3 years, I really hate this standard. Here we go and welcome to the Idea of Technology. My name is Michael and today we're going to talk about USB Type-C and why I really hate USB Type-C in a certain way, because I just hoped for this standard and just put so many efforts in this to understand it and just to get everything done with it. But my biggest problem with it is that it's so confusing. Even though I'm just a techie and digital native or whatsoever, so I'm just totally into tech, but sometimes I don't understand USB Type-C either, because there are so many different protocols, possibilities with it. It's not clearly made for the clarifications, definitions, not the right symbols to know what this cable or what this standard is capable of, because USB Type-C in a certain way is just a form factor. It has nearly nothing to do with what's inside the cable. And that's the reason I just want to make this video today for you, because I just want to make it a little bit clearer for you, that you understand what is this form factor USB Type-C, what it's capable of, and what you can expect from it. That it's pretty complicated, and I just want to make it pretty easy for you. So let's just start with some easy examples just to show you where the problems of this whole thing is. So I have 4 cables lying in front of me, and they're all Type-C to Type-C, but in some way they're also different, and that's just pretty annoying because you can't see it from the outside that easy. You just need to look on the packaging, and even on the packaging sometimes it's not right. So first we have this Amazon Basics USB Type-C to Type-C 2.0 cable. So this is just a traditional USB 2.0 speeds, as you already know for the last 15 or 20 years, but in this form factor Type-C to Type-C, which it's just pretty thin. You just can get the basic charging speeds out of it. I will link all the cables down in the video description if you look it up for yourself. The next is a cable that isn't labeled at all. This is a big problem. It's just way thicker, and it's just more durable and flexible, and it's just, I think, 1 meter long, but also the same problem. This is USB 3.0 Gen 1. So we have USB 3.0 Gen 1 and Gen 2. Gen 1 is just 5 gigabits, just the ordinary USB 3.0 speeds. And you also just get here around about 30 watts through this cable, so you're not capable of USB power delivery charging my Dell XPS 2-in-1, which is just sitting right in front of me, with this cable, because my Dell XPS requires USB power delivery with 45 watts, and this cable isn't capable of. What USB power delivery is, I will discuss this in a separate video, so I will just now put all the parts together to get the next video about USB power delivery. So if you just want to watch this, get subscribed or something like this, and then you will learn everything about power delivery. But this cable isn't really capable of doing some power delivery over 30 watts. The next one looks nearly the same. So this is the third one. This is the previous cable I just already mentioned. This is a cable from Anker. I also put the link down in the video description. This is just a week old. I bought this pretty new because I needed a USB Type-C to Type-C cable with the speeds of USB 3.1 Gen 2. That means 10 gigabits speed, so double the speed from USB 3.1 Gen 1. And also a cable that it's capable of USB power delivery up to 100 watts. So now with this cable you can just even charge your MacBook or every other power delivery device through USB Type-C. like this Dell XPS or every other USB Type-C device. This is probably the cable to go. So if you're just completely into USB, this cable can nearly handle everything, and it's just costs, I think, 16 or 12 bucks, I don't know. And the last cable is probably no surprise at all. You just can also go for Thunderbolt via USB Type-C. So I just have this, that's a pretty short, come on, that's a pretty short cable. It's just half a meter because Thunderbolt 3 isn't able to go, I think, over 2 meters. That will be tricky with this copper cable here. But this cable is capable of Thunderbolt 3. That means up to 40 gigabits a second, so even 4 times faster than the USB 3.1 Gen 2 standard. And you just also can charge up to 100 watts with this cable at the same time, and you just even have the chance to get Ethernet, DisplayPort, everything through this one cable. You will always need to look up if the cable is capable of the alternate modes from USB. That's also a tricky point. So you have a lot of different protocols and standards out there. Just keep in mind, look at the right specifications of the cable when you buy it, because there are so many different things you just need to focus on. I would say most of your time you're pretty fine when you go with a cable like this from Anker, just USB 3.1 Gen 2, so you have room for up to 10 gigabits. That's just freaking fast. So if you just think about it, you just could just run your external SSDs like the Samsung T5 easily and nearly everything else, but you will not be able to run an external GPU with this cable, so you just need to go for a Thunderbolt 3 USB to USB Type-C cable. Just keep that in mind. To look at the right cable for your right requirements. That's just also a point. If you just always just need USB 2.0, like it's for example on your OnePlus 6T, there's also just a USB 2.0 cable implemented, because you don't have the chance to get really fast data transfers onto your OnePlus 6T, but the cable is just made in the certain way that you have, for example, on the McLaren edition, the chance to go for warp charging, which is just pretty fast charging, but not capable of doing a fast data transfers. This not always correspond with each other. So that's the whole point of this video. For me, it's just pretty hard to know every standard and what's capable of. These are now the biggest ones I already mentioned, from USB 2.0 up to Thunderbolt when it comes to speeds and also charging speeds and capabilities of watts. But always keep in mind to buy the right cable for your purpose. You can always buy a Thunderbolt cable and you're probably always fine, but these are really expensive compared to the other ones, so just keep in mind to buy the right cable. And I can only encourage the producers of these cables, for example like this one here, this has no label or icon or anything like this. I can only encourage the producers of this cable that it's not enough to print all the labels on the packaging, because you will throw the packaging away anyway. You will need to have the right specifications printed on your cables, because I can now swap the Anker with this cable and they would probably look the same. The only reason is I know the differences and I know what this one cable is capable of compared to the other, so I will not get surprised when I try to use this cable on my external SSD and just being mad at the SSD for not getting the full speed, because the cable is the bottleneck and that not the SSD. So just always try to avoid that your devices are the bottleneck. Just go for the cable, and that's just the whole point. So that's the point of this whole video. So I just want to know your experience with USB Type-C. Have you ever bought the wrong cable like I did with this USB 2.0 cable here? Or how you handle the USB Type-C standards, like are you using Thunderbolt 3 with an external GPU or something like this? Or what are your use cases and what are your opinions about USB Type-C? Do you like the standard, or is there room for improvement, especially when it comes to clarification and communication? from the brands building all these different cables and devices. Just let me know in the comment section. And if you disliked this video, you know what to do. But if you liked it, hit like down there, get subscribed, and enable the notifications with the bell icon so you won't miss any future video of the ADF technology. And I just want to say thank you very much for watching. See you. Goodbye.